that's Iowa for sure.
Guest, but it's the only person below White Holiday in the Comicsgate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sameti. The YouTube how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hello. Welcome to WyzGyzEntertainment. This is Wyman. There you are.
How you doing? What was that? Okay, I'm confused. I mean, I've been on that stream before. But what? Why you open it with that? I'm really intrigued.
Oh well, because it was a funny intro.
Okay, well that worked. We like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get all fancy now, and be like other YouTubers by looking a little more professional.
That's nothing like a YouTuber. What are you talking about? How long have you had your channel for?
A year.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm now using the 30-second countdown. Then I'm following it up with I updated my channel intro, and the one for brand new people to the channel, as well as those who are returning users. Oops, I think we got a bit of echo or something. Test. You don't have another YouTube window open for the stream, do you?
I might have actually. One second. For this window, let me see. No, not there. Not there. Well, I'll close all these windows anyway. 1 second. I got that. Fine. Okay, I have just my YouTube studio window open. Do you still get an echo?
Test. Nope. All right. We seem to be good. Yeah. Sometimes when people join the StreamYard's link, then they forget they already have the stream open in a YouTube tab.
Yeah, no, I do that all the time. I'm terrible. Yeah, no, I do all that all the time. That is me.
Yeah, I do it at times too. But yeah, so I updated that stuff. And I needed to come up with some sort of intro. It was going to be an intro outro, but I think I might have to create something different for an outro because this is more or less just introducing me.
Right.
I don't know. I'm playing around with it, experimenting.
Well, okay, listen. This is really one of the good things about YouTube is you can just nothing's permanent. You can just play around with things and see what sticks and what doesn't. Right. It's just basically how it works.
Yeah. And I'm too cheap to hire someone to create.
Well, fortunately, I'm like a video guy and a graphic designer, and so I do all this stuff for myself.
Ah, gotcha. Right on. So let's get to know you a little better. So you've got this campaign going on.
Yeah, so sign up for the campaign. I think the campaign's probably going to start. I don't know, first week in. Like December, around the second week in December, sometime around there.
All right.
Basically, when I have enough people signed up, I'm not really even sure how many people I want signed up. I guess like a couple of hundred. Like, what's normal? You've had people on your channel more. Like, I've had a ton of people on my channel, right? And I about this stuff, and I never thought to ask them like, how many people do you get on a sign up thing before it's worthwhile launching? So these are things I should have asked people.
Yeah, I think it's all personal preference, really.
I guess so. I mean, listen, if I can get a couple of thousand, that'll be great. That'll be fantastic. Anyone watching this now? Whatever you're doing, go click the link and join the mailing list. Now, I'm not going to guarantee you that your preferred candidate will undoubtedly be inaugurated president on January 20th. I'm not going to guarantee you that, right? But it might, and it might hinge on you joining this mailing list, right? So I don't know. People just say that things like that might happen.
Oh yeah. You never know.
You never know. You never know.
It couldn't hurt though. You might as well sign up.
Yes, I know. Listen, yeah, I'll take whatever you can get. That's what I advise.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Oh, listen, yeah, I'll take whatever. Is that you?
I have to mute that.
That's you. Okay, cool.
I did the very same thing that you just did. Well,
yes.
I use StreamYard, right? So
Yeah.
I podcast to Facebook, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube.
I have I'm too old to go onto Twitch. If I go and log on, it spits me out. It says, no, you can't come on. You're too old. I get a little boomer alert. Yeah, that sort of thing.
Well, I'm still kind of new to that particular platform, and I don't know. I just figured since I'm occasionally doing gaming videos that I might as well include that in.
I'm thinking about doing gaming videos, but I'm so bad at gaming. I'm so freakishly bad. I've done about 3 games in their entirety. They were like, what was it? Did Last of Us? Not Last of Us 2. They did. Oh, Alien. It was Alien Isolation. I enjoyed that one.
All right.
Yeah, that game. That game is terrifying. If you want to play that in VR, if you want to if you are constipated and you want to find a way of being able to move your bowels, play Alien Isolation in VR. It will terrify you, but you probably need to get some new underwear. That's just a warning.
That or play the game on a laptop computer while you're on the toilet, so you're prepared ahead of time.
There you go. You see, you're a more experienced gamer. You know more about stuff.
Oh my gosh! Did you play The Last of Us 1 or Last of Us 2?
Oh, just one. I was all up for getting Last of Us 2. Then it broke how freaking awful it was. Right? And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in spending $60 for somebody to lecture me and get a crap game and have like this weird, like troglodyte. Like what? Okay, what is it with this utter fear of having men look masculine and women look feminine? I think they're all very good things. It's like, right. And I understand if you're not into that, if you're a segment of the population that doesn't like, that's fine. That no one's oppressing you. But just like, can I just have superheroes in tight spandex looking freaking hot? That's all. Like, really? It doesn't seem too much to ask.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you'd think it would be easy for people to understand, but no,
because they're dealing with crazy people, absolutely crazy people.
They are indeed. They are. Welcome, Eric McIntyre. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Eric. How are you?
Hello. Yeah, so one of the ongoing debates is why on earth don't these crazy people, aka SJWs, aka social justice warriors, not create their own content? But
because they can't. Here's the basic reason, right? Because they can't. I had this revelation recently. Like because I'm a big Doctor Who fan, and that's just gone totally woke, and it's awful. And when anything goes woke, it goes awful. The quality drops at the same time, and it's a weird thing, right? How it happens. So I've worked out what it is. What you see, to be woke, to be an SJW, you've got to be a freaking moron. You've got to be completely insane and a moron to believe the crap that these idiots believe. But if you are a moron, right? If you are an idiot, you're probably not going to be very good at anything else either, which kind of shows when they try and make an episode of Star Trek or Star Wars or Doctor. You can't. They can't do anything, and that's why they are like magpies, like locusts, eating anything up they can see, because they can't produce anything, because they're useless. They are utterly useless people.
Oh my gosh. Do you think the majority of them got degrees in liberal arts?
Yes, 100%. And they're all unemployable, and they're all broke, and they're all miserable, right? And they're all miserable because they're like, they got these like draconian laws they got to like adhere to, which change constantly, and they got to join a pack so they can like harangue anybody else. because they have to live in packs because they are like these massive losers. Like I say, and it doesn't matter what fandom it is that they've invaded. They're the same freaking everywhere. They're the same in comics. They're the same in Star Trek. They're the same in Doctor Who. They are the same freaking everywhere. They live on Twitter. They live for a mic drop, you know, and they're basically just the worst people humanity has ever produced. Your boy Zach says that. I love that channel, and he's 100% right. They are the worst people ever produced by humanity. It's like at least terrorists have a bit of drive, have a bit of ambition. You know, these losers can't get out of bed. I mean, like, look, have you ever read SJW comics? It's about them sitting around in their flats eating. No, they're not doing anything, but that's what they do.
Oh, and spending time talking and complaining about men.
And trying to feel superior in any way to feel. And the reason they don't feel superior is because they don't do anything with their freaking lives. That's why. Get out and do something. Go and meet human interaction and content. Yeah. How about this right here? Go and get laid. This is, I think if they all just go and get laid, and listen, I'm a rabbi. Okay, I'm a rabbi. I'm actually a real rabbi. This is good advice. I think if they all just went and got laid, they would be so much happier. So much happier. They'll put Twitter down and they would like look out the window and see like this wonderful world out there and see it's not so terrible. There aren't like, you know, fascists jumping out the woodwork to burn people at the stake. You know, the world they think isn't real. So yeah, that was probably a good idea for them.
Yeah. So what they do instead is they invade an existing well-known franchise that already has an established base. And tear it to shreds once they can.
Okay, the SJW Invasion has a few phases. First, they say, "Hey, can we come too?" And it's like, "Yeah, sure, why not? Because you're not an arsehole." Most people aren't dicks like these people. They're like, "Hey, can we come and play too?" And they say, "Yeah, sure, the more the merrier." And then they go, "You know what? This would be nice if we could make it more inclusive, so even more people could enjoy it." And we're like, "Yeah, whatever. Just do what you want. Just don't break anything, right? Whatever. Do it." And then they come in and they take over, right? And they fundamentally change the object of fandom, right, to make it more inclusive. And they said, "Well, if you don't like it, you can leave, get out, right?" And if you do, and then people they leave whatever fandom is, and they go and start another fandom because these are people who can actually do something with their lives, right? They can actually get out and do something, and they go and build another fandom, and then the SJWs go over to that if that ever takes off. Because they are parasites. They are parasites. And, you know, I thought that when we got, like, you know, the tent protests, that's the worst humanity could get. You remember when people, were, like, protesting because they couldn't afford apartments in, like, Manhattan? You know, remember that? Yeah. And I thought, that's the stupidest I think people can get. No, hold my beer. Things got way stupider after that.
Yeah, that's a fact. Eric says the people making those decisions probably have some fetish of being dominated by masculine.
Maybe, but, you know, but here's the thing: they're not allowed to think about human sexuality in any way. That's why they make all their female heroes like as sexless as humanly possible, because they don't understand how to interact with people. Like, okay. Here's a basic psychology 101. The first thing you got to understand: men and women are basically different. You know, we're not the same. The genders are different, and they don't understand that, right? But and it's not. I'm not saying one is superior to the other. I'm just saying there are differences. A big deal with male sex drives is that we are, generally speaking, this is not universal. Nothing's universal. More visually orientated, right? Men are tend to be more visually oriented. Women are more emotionally driven and oriented. So for a woman, making themselves look beautiful, beautifying themselves is a thing. You know, there's makeup, and they like to look beautiful. Why? Because then men look at them and they feel good about themselves. It's like men want what women want to do, and women want to do what they and that way we come together and we procreate and we continue our freaking species. And we're not like these like bizarre draconian woke skulls. They're like, yeah, you've been reduced to sexuality. Yes. Oh yeah, like that's a big thing with me. I am very, very open with being finding attractive women attractive, and there's nothing freaking wrong with saying that. It's
Exactly.
In fact, to that end, I'm going to share you a screen. One second. So I have a bonus, this bonus sign-up thing for anybody who's joining my mailing list. Where is that folder? I just had it right in front of me. I was all prepared. Where'd it go? Must have closed. Here, one second. Just give me a second.
While you're working on that, let me pull up these other chat messages. Modern political activists, both left and right, are cultural leeches and social degenerates.
Again, because that's what you do if you are a degenerate, right? You are.
Yeah.
You inhabit somebody else's franchise. You inhabit, and that's basically what you do. Yeah, and yeah, they are all pretty much as like. Oh, here we go. So here, let me just share the screen.
SJW comics are essentially homoerotic circle jerks.
Yes, they are. But there's no payoff. At no point are you allowed to come, because that's toxic masculinity.
Yeah, and you don't want to be racist against other fluids.
Oh God. Fine. So let me just zoom out of this a little bit so you can see the full thing. So with my the sign up for my campaign, I've done this series of cards called For the Male Gaze, and they are essentially my genre-related masturbatory fantasies from when I was 13. So we're talking about 1982, right? 82, 83. This is so you get it, and so if you join the mailing list and you make any purchase, you get one of these for free. There's a tier where you can get all of them, but yeah, if you do join the mailing list and you do get the tier which has all four of them, then you get a special chaser one which we haven't released yet. So anyway, so this one is Judge Anderson from 2000 AD. It's she's a side judge, and she was a very sexy side judge. So the title of this one is Don't Even Think It, Citizen. Do not even think it. But the artist on this is Dominic Ratchet. Let me just zoom in a little bit, because once you see like when you get close, that, I'm really happy with the work he's done on this one. So I think I'm going to do a tier where he's going to do sketch cards. So anyway, so there's that one. Cool. There's this James Bond related one called Keeping the British End Up. Sorry. So these women are based on characters from these movies, right? No. Mostly just my masturbatory fantasies from when I was 13.
Okay.
These are all people. She's a basic James Bondian woman. And this is a character called Judge Anderson from 2000 AD.
All right.
Which is the comic I read when I was growing up, right?
Okay. All right.
So you got this one. It's got the James Bondy feel. It's called Keeping the British End Up, because that was the last line in one of my favorite James Bond movies, The Spy Who Loved Me. At the end of The Spy Who Loved Me, James Bond comes floating out in this little pod on the water, and he's in bed with Barbara Bach. Ringo Starr's wife looked freaking awesome in this movie. She did absolutely awesome. And so they're in the escape craft, and finally they get taken in by an aircraft carrier, and they don't know. And they're in the midst of a passionate embrace. Remember this bit? And they open the curtain. They say, and you got the Russian Major Gogol and the Russian guy and M said, "Bond, what are you doing?" And the Russian guy's like, "Agent Triple X." And he said, "What are you doing, Bond?" He says, "Keeping the British end up, sir." So that's it. So this one is my next one is my favorite one. It's this is based on Doctor Who. I'm a big Doctor Who fan. This was the companion from the 1980s, Perry, Purple Gillian Brown, who basically she's a very attractive woman, but the producer at the time, John Nathan Turner, was very gay, and she described the costume she had to wear as being a gay man's version of something that's sexy, right? Which isn't very subtle, but it works if you're a 12-year-old boy. So this is, unfortunately, lovely woman. Nicola Bryant played her. She is forever entombed, like General Zod in the Phantom Zone. In my spank bank. She's going to be there forever. But here, let me show you. I'm not exaggerating. Here's an action figure of her. Right,
hold on. Let me see this.
Spandex. Yeah, made clearly to proportion. So
it's like a spandex onesie kind of outfit.
Essentially, yeah. It's exactly what she wears, that and shorts and heels, and it's here one second. She had a different color. Like, see, I got more than one action figure of her. That's how obsessed I am with her. Yes, if you look at Perry, you'll get it. So then I figured. I've been a little bit. Oh, so the name for this one is called "No Hanky Panky in the TARDIS." No hanky panky in the TARDIS.
Yeah, I love that.
An expression that's like that the producer said. There's no hanky panky in the TARDIS. So the last one, I thought I needed to be a little bit more inclusive. I produced three cards that very much attract me, but I wanted to go for other looks for more different like people. So there was a show called Space 1999, and they had and do you remember that from the 70s?
Mm-hmm.
So you had this Asianish looking woman in it who I couldn't remember the name of. I can't remember the name of a character, but she's basically the subject of this one. So the name of this one is Party Like It's 1999.
Yeah.
So you get one of these cards for free with any purchase. With any purchase.
Is it randomized or is there like
no? You choose, baby. You choose.
All right, so there's gonna be like a drop down or something where you can select which one you get. Or
that's well. You know what? I haven't even worked out how we're gonna do that yet. But yeah, it's not my first crowdfunding campaign, so I figured I'll work it out. Yeah, that's basically it.
That's pretty cool though. I was checking out these images earlier that were pretty cool looking. Let me see. Let me jump back here. So this is crap. Oh. So this is the Rabbi from Another Planet Comics Bonanza.
Yeah, that's right. Well, okay, here's the deal. I've been making comics for about 5 years, a little bit more than 5 years, right? So I got these 2 books that are like completed, ready to go. I want to do. One of them I want to expand by about 20 pages. If we do well, I'm going to have stretch goals to put another like 20, anything between 5 and 20 pages in it. But it's ready to go right now. Like that book is about 50 pages of story art, and you get you get the script, you get backup strips, so you get tons of stuff. You get the writer's original sketches. Like the package right now is about 100 pages long. But I would like to expand it, a little bit if we can, yeah, basically whatever. But it's ready to go, finished, lettered, pre-press, all done, ready to go. So there's that book. Now this other book, which is I would say a more weighty, more serious book. Like I hesitate to compare myself to Alan Moore, right? But it's the only one I could think of to give that example. Alan Moore had 2 modes. Alan Moore would do like his heavy, weighty books, like V for Vendetta, From Hell, Watchmen, and he'll do his like more frivolous throwaway books like Spawn or Supreme and things like that. So the other book, so this one's a much more heavy, weighty book. It's called Biblical Bible Stories for Atheist Creationists, Rationalists, and Rogues. It's I'm a rabbi, as I said. So 2 things I know very, very well: comic books and Bible. I know, but so like in a insanely intense, integral way. So there's most people view the Bible as children's stories, and they don't look at the depth within them. And it's not depth in terms of trying to convince you to live your life in this way or another way, but just in terms of storytelling depth. It's like really good, stonking, great stories there, which have revelation upon revelation. It's like and they're epic and they span generations. So most people don't do that because they go Bible stories. Yeah, who gives a crap, right? And there's a lot of good stuff there. So that's basically the idea. So Biblical is long. Biblical is like you got 180 pages or more of story pages, and you get all the scripts and the commentary and a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay, let's rewind a bit. Well, hold on.
Sure.
Welcome, Commie Mark.
Commie Mark, how you doing, my good man?
Have you been on the CG UK streams already?
Yes. Well, I went on one I wanted to try to go on it again this week, but I fell asleep. It was see, I'm 2 hours behind the UK, which is which, and I like to go to bed as well. So I'm the UK, and so but they start at 10 o'clock. They start at 10 o'clock. For me, it's midnight. I'm like struggling to stay awake by 9.
Right. You said, did you say you're in Israel now?
Yeah.
All right. So you're off by the UK time by how many hours?
I'm 2 hours ahead of UK.
Okay. All right. So that means you're 7 hours ahead of me. Good.
Exactly. 100 what? You're on the East Coast?
Yeah. All right.
Said, when you offered me the 9 a.m. slot on Eastern, that freaking perfect for me. I mean, that's the best time of day you could possibly do this. So thank you. And anyway, so when I finished this stream, then I got my stream starting at 5 UK time. So I got I'm like juggling a bunch of stuff. But wait, what stuff do you normally say? What your Twitter header was? You had hashtags for everything I like. Well, mostly. There's one thing you had that I wasn't into. But listen, I do like. If you ever want to come on my channel, you're more than welcome, mate.
Oh, right on. Cool. Love to. First off, how do you pronounce your name?
Good question. So actually, my English name is Matthew. Right, Matthew.
All right.
Easier. But when Jews are 8 days old, they are circumcised. It's called a ceremony called a Brit Milah, which is when they get their Jewish name. So my grandfather went to my father and said, "Look, can you name him after my father? In the Brit." And the name is Svi. Imagine if it's spelled S-V-E-E.
S-V-I. All right, like S-V-E-E.
S-V-E-E, and that is Svi. That's okay. So my dad says, "Yeah, sure, no problem." He's never going to use it anyway. Never in a million years use it. I wasn't religious growing up. About 20 years later, I find myself wandering in the old city of Jerusalem on Christmas Day. Actually, it was Christmas Day, and I just come from this place called Dahab, which was like a hippie paradise in the Sinai, where they where there's lots and lots of like cheap weed and and very good snorkeling, right? So I just came back from it, and I was like really a little bit spaced out. And I ended up in this religious seminary, which wants to like try and like educate people about Jews, about Judaism, because most Jews don't know crap about anything, right? So I'm like, I was always kind of an open-minded guy, and I was like, yeah, I'll listen to what anybody's got to say about anything, And then they said, oh, and we give you free food and a free bed. I'm like, I'm there, baby. You said the right thing. Clearly, you're marketing to Jews. Clearly. So I went there, and blow me, they well, don't literally, they convinced I became religious like right there, and I'd never expected to be, and so I've been religious ever since.
Oh my God!
That's how I became a rabbi. That's the story. That's my secret origin.
Oh man!
I think I've been told that online before, but there you go.
Wow! Holy cow! Yeah, that's one of the big things I like to do. Cover the origin stories of these creators who come on my show. So you decided to go back to using your Jewish name? Do you do it?
Yeah. Well, I did about 6 months later.
All right. So since then, you've been using your Jewish name all the time.
Yes,
Nice. All right. For a minute, I thought it was a silent T, so I was gonna say Zvi.
No, okay. Jewy words are designed to make Gentiles choke, right? So we got we have a lot in there, like lots of things have a thing going. And if you know, that's just like it's a way to tell somebody's Jewish or not. If they can say Chaim, L'chaim, we can do that. Then you can come in. By the way, L'chaim, have you ever heard anybody say that when they have a drink? L'chaim.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
All right. So L'chaim is a drinking thing. You go L'chaim and you drink, right? So it means L'chaim means to life. If you ever seen Fiddler on the Roof, L'chaim, here's to life, right? L'chaim.
It's kind of like Cheers.
Here's a freaky thing. The reason you say that is in when there used to be a Jewish temple, and there was capital punishment, right? There was the death penalty, and when you got somebody, when somebody got the death sentence, which was quite rare, they got them drunk before they did the sentence, and they said lamate, which is to death. So that's why Jews now say l'chaim whenever they have a drink to establish they're not about to be killed horribly. Celebrating the Sabbath.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I remember this other story. I don't remember its origins, but the whole reason a lot of cultures, you know, say something like cheers and they clink glasses is because, you know, they were concerned that they were trying to avoid people or enemies from potentially trying to poison them in their beverage. So by clinking the glasses together, it had a chance for liquid from both glasses to exchange.
Yeah.
So if you were under threat of being poisoned, then you the other person would die too.
So there you go. Mutually assured destruction.
Yeah, all Jewy words.
Oh, I got plenty of Jewy words.
So you've already done 5. You've already done 5 campaigns, or this?
No, this is my 3rd campaign. Oh yeah, sorry, I was telling my secret origin. Yeah, so around.
I mean, like, how did you begin? How did you get into even? Eventually.
Okay, fine. So I've always loved comic books. I've always loved comic. I think it's just kind of like because I have a bunch of comic skaters come on my channel, and I've interviewed them, and I think it's like if you just grow up with reading and loving comics, that visual storytelling just becomes like second nature. It's innate, and which is something that really annoys me because you can tell when somebody doesn't love comics from the comics they write. Right? Again, the SJW comics. They just do not work. There's no visual storytelling in them. There's no joy in it, right? So I always go. So I'm a web designer, graphic designer, I do video production, but I was doing mainly a web design about 5 years ago, and I hated it. Hated dealing with the clients. By the way, I found the best way of improving any client for a freelancer. Here's what you do: you take your client and you hold their head underwater for 10 minutes, right? And after that, you'll find they're fine. They're absolutely fine. Up until that time, not so much. So anyway, so I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it anymore. So I said, I'm punting everything to try and make comics. Right? This is where I got to do something different in my life. So I'm not naturally an artist. I mean, I went to art school. I'm not naturally an artist. So I sat down, and something that made a big difference was I worked digitally, right? So actually, you know what? Let me open this up because this is. I'll show you the pages. So I sat down and I started drawing comic, and it was the quality of it was, for me, it was good enough. It felt like a average Vertigo comic, like it wasn't like that impressive. So let me just find the thing. But I was like, just making this thing was like this incredible feat for me, right? Here. I'm just pulling it up right now. If you want to.
All right.
So this was the first thing I drew, right? And you can see I cheated because like I have like these very like monotone pages where I can cheat a lot, much easily. But I was like working through. I'm looking at this stuff now. I'm so embarrassed by it. It's funny. I was like so proud of it when I did it. I'm so embarrassed of it now. But anyway, so this is where I started to learn to draw comics, and I came together. It worked, and so I did this first issue, and I shunted it down to the issue 3 in the running order because But so then when I got to,
so you did all this yourself?
Okay, yes. This is something I did much more at the end of the book, so you can see the difference in quality. Actually, I've got better than this now. This is I put me in the comic, right? This This is a little bonus story, right? There's when I did the first crowdfunding campaign for it, then we blew through the stretch goal. So there's a story that God is thinking about. Oh, this shows you good insight what the book's like. It shows you that it's about God deciding to create reality, create the universe, right?
All right.
So truth comes along, and I play truth in this because truth is a bit of a dick, right? Truth is a bit of a dick. I'm like, yeah, I can play that role. So truth comes along and says, this is the worst idea ever. Like you're gonna get people who are like essentially animals, and we're gonna put a soul in them. They're gonna be confused. They're gonna be angry. They're not gonna. It's gonna be like they're gonna do terrible things, and I just freak out. Right? I got this whole freak. If you ever come to my channel, this is me talking about Doctor Who. So then although I did steal this bit here. You see where he takes his skull cap off and goes. There was a TV production of Doom where they had Ian McNeice play Baron was it Harkonnen, and he did that. I was like, that's really gross. I love that. I want to steal that. So then he's talking about how terrible humans will be, and he talks about all these atrocities that humans are going to do. And God says, you know what? You're 100% right. So he takes truth and he throws truth down, and truth falls and he falls and he falls, and he falls down to earth, and then he hits the truth shatters right? And then those billion pieces shatter into a billion pieces, and they go everywhere. That's why in every philosophy you have truth. There's truth in anything real. That's the basic parable.
Oh my gosh, that's great. That's so funny. Eric asks,
yes.
Do Orthodox Jews still practice, is it pronounced tithes?
Tithe. Yeah. So no, you don't give it to me. You just give it. You're supposed to. Is the answer. You're supposed to. You're supposed to take 10%, between 10% and 20% of your income, and you give it to some kind of charity. That's basically what you do. By the way, listen, you ever want to ask a rabbi a question? Come on, I answer freaking anything. I will answer you any question. If I have the answer, I'll tell you. If the answers I don't know, I'll tell you that too. But yeah.
You give it to any charity, not specifically to a church?
Well, you shouldn't give it to a church. We're not really on the same team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're still a bit sore about the Crusades, but other than that, we're fine.
And is the Levitical Priesthood still around?
Well, yes and no. There is the people who are priests know that that's maintained the bloodline, but there's no priestly service. And basically, everything in Judaism used to revolve around the temple in Jerusalem, and the priests were the ones who would. There was lots of animal sacrifices. And the reason, most reasons you do an animal sacrifice is you go and have a really good meal. You go and have a steak, right? This incredible steak that you had at the temple, and you would feel grateful to God, and that would bring you closer to God, essentially.
So was it always cows that would be sacrificed?
So you had cows, you had goats. What else is there? You had birds, or you had. They also did like bread and stuff like that.
I thought I heard some news stories saying that they were trying to do away with those animal sacrifices due to animal cruelty and stuff like that.
Well, we did away with them about 2,000 years ago when the temple was destroyed by the Romans. So you need the temple to do that. But as I understand it, all of Judaism as well is really based around there's going to be a third temple built at some point in the future, which is why. There's all this. That's really when you get down to the nub of the Israel-Palestinian conflict. That's really what it centers around. We're about that teeny tiny patch of land, because that's where the Dome of the Rock is, and that's where the Jewish temple was, and the Jews pray it will be in the future. So that's really the dispute. That the entire thing is around this teeny tiny patch of land in Jerusalem.
The ability to make this third temple.
Yeah.
And what is the end goal or significance of this third temple?
It's a conduit to connect humanity to God.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's it. And the role of the temple was replaced with prayer and good deeds instead, which are always good things to do. Always good things to do. But, I mean, listen, there's supposed to be like this ongoing revelation of God's presence when the temple's like there was a few like constant miracles that were supposed to happen. Actually, this Hanukkah's coming out. You ever heard of the holiday of Hanukkah?
Yeah.
Fine. So on Hanukkah, Jews light this thing called this candelabra called a menorah, and each night you light another candle up to 8 nights, right? So the basic story is the Greeks invaded Israel, and then you had this tiny force of priests who started an insurgency, and after a couple of years, they managed to push them out, right? So they get to the temple, and they find one little flask of oil for the thing called the menorah, the candelabra in the temple, but it's not. But it's only enough for one day, and it takes a week to make richly pure olive oil for it, right? So they use it. They use it, and they say do we wait? Do we what? They use it, and straight away, and it lasts for 8 days, and that was the miracle of Hanukkah. But that's not really the miracle of Hanukkah. Let me tell you what the miracle of Hanukkah was, right? The Alexander the Great, but a couple of years earlier, Alexander the Great came to Israel, Israel, and they thought there was going to be war. He was greeted by this guy called Simon the Righteous. Shimon Hasadik, he was called, the chief priest at the time, right? And then Alexander the Great said, "I've had visions of you all my life," and he bows to him. And what was going to be a conquest ends up being a joining of people, right? A cultural meeting, right? But the point was, at the time that Simon the Righteous, Shimon Hasadik, was the high priest, every week the candelabra would last, and Jews don't know this, by the way. This is like not things people know. They know the candelabra would always last for 1 week on 1 day's worth of oil. It was a constant miracle that happened because of his righteousness. And then when he died, that ended. And then when the Maccabees who ran the revolution got into the temple and they had that flask of oil last for 1 week, it was a sign that they had raised themselves up back to the level of righteousness that Simon the Righteous was at. So that's the real. Oh, and also there's this idea that time isn't linear. Time is more of this spiral, which I deal with a lot in biblical. That the stuff that makes up space and time is the same stuff for every point. Like the stuff that makes up the space and time for Wednesday is always the same stuff for Wednesday, right? It's like it goes throughout time, and so you can essentially time travel back to the energy of other time by knowing that stuff. So the blessing you make for lighting the candles is that you did miracles in those days at this time. So they're basically saying the incredible thing that the Maccabees did transcended time, and you could access that energy by lighting those candles. If you believe in that crap, which we all believe in different things, which is fine.
No, is it? I'm so used to calling it Hanukkah, but it's actually like a.
You see, it's a trap. It's a non-Jew trap, right? We got Hanukkah. Hanukkah. Say Hanukkah. You're fine, mate. You're fine.
The 7 or 8 days are you supposed to give a gift to children one every day for the 8 days?
Okay, so that's just whatever your household wants to do. My kids say yes, we say no.
do some families make it a point to like each of the days you do your version of a miracle by doing some good deed to somebody every day?
That's pretty cool. That's a great idea. Don't keep that quiet. You're going to get everybody doing it. I'm sure some families do stuff like that. Everybody does different things. Like, okay, the big tradition of Hanukkah is oil. Everything. So we have these things called latkes, which is basically you get a potato, you grate the potato, you mix it with egg and salt, and then you fry it.
Yeah, I've had that before. Aren't you supposed to eat it with like mustard?
Tell you, this is a big difference in my house. I prefer mustard, right? Because I'm English. My wife will only use applesauce because she's American. You don't have applesauce.
Oh, yeah. I like them both, actually.
You see, look, you're basically there. You're basically there. Just one circumcision, yeah, and
shit. Oh my gosh, how funny.
Although, by the way, if insane Jewish law number 57, I'm going to tell you today, if somebody comes to you and say, look, I'm interested in converting to Judaism, you know what the proper response is? That the legal, what you're supposed to do? You're supposed to go, are you crazy? You're supposed to talk to somebody like, really? No. Right. Do you like being hated by everybody and not being able to do what you like? Oh, then Judaism might be for you. Like, have you ever heard of the Holocaust? It doesn't work out well. Do you like surf and turf? You might want to stick with the non-Jewish thing.
Oh my gosh.
And I tell you, I'm really okay. The things I miss about not being religious mostly are lobster, shrimp, and bacon. Those three things make everything better.
Oh shoot, I love all those too.
Exactly. You know what? You love them because they're awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, so thank you for answering Eric's question. He'd never asked a rabbi before. He says your art looks really good. I was saying
your taste looks even better, sir. Go click the link. Go click the link and join the mailing list today.
For sure. For sure. Kami Marek, welcome. He loves these biblical comics.
Oh yeah, I sent you something. Oh no, I offered to send you something. But if you want, you're welcome.
Hard work.
Yeah, so basically that is absolutely the point. Hard work and practice does pay off. So it's like, so the next comic I did, the next issue, I pushed and I made it better, and I kept doing that, and I kept being able to expand what I'm able to do. And so now I'm like, again, it's still, everything I do, I always push to make it better than the one I did before, and because that's what I think you should do, right?
Yeah, that's how you grow. I mean, how did you even get to that level of drawing on your first book? I mean, did you take formal classes in school?
Well, no, I went to art school. I took lots of photos. Like this biblical book is so photo referenced. It's very, very photo referenced. Here, look, 1 second. I'll pull up my favorite scene, because I had my son. Yeah, where is it? I'll go over here. I had my son model for this bit, and he's like the sweetest kid ever. Yeah, 1 second. I'll show you the cover that he's on. So fine. You want to throw it up? There, fine. So that's my son. He's like literally the sweetest kid ever, right? So at the end of the book, at the end of that chapter, this is not a massive spoiler, right? So he violently hacks somebody to death. but I really enjoyed showing my wife reading this for the first time, showing it to her. She was like, "It's a little baby." This young son. So yeah, so this goes on for page like,
oh damn,
and he goes thunk, and then like next page is much more thunk, 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 thunk. But now comes my favorite bit. Like the next bit is like when he's you pan down slowly.
Oh, jeez.
And he's holding the decapitated head, and he kisses it, right? Because he's showing his gratitude for being educated by this guy, and he just murders horribly.
Oh dear! Oh my gosh! Wow! Oh my goodness!
That's King Nimrod.
King
Nimrod being killed by Esau, who is the brother of Jacob, and he's the brother of Jacob, the son of Isaac, and essentially the father of Christianity. The nation, the Christianity in general. I think it just in terms of not in terms of theology, in terms of just like genetics. Christianity in general basically comes from Rome, right? Rome became a Christian empire, and that's why the Vatican inherited that kind of power from. That's where it came from. But so Esau was the father of Rome. So Esau had two nations come from, Edom and was it Amalek? Amalek are the bad guys. We don't like Amalek. And Edom are basically the good guys. Edom is essentially, I strongly believe and this is a weird point of view to have, and again, this is not a mainstream Jewish point of view, that your current president of the United States is the Messiah of the nation of Edom, because weird thing, and this was the first thing I thought of. The Bible, especially in Hebrew, uses language very, very sparingly, and it doesn't normally describe what people look like. You know, the only things it described Esau as, Edom as being tall with orange hair. They basically called him the Orange Man. I'm like, really?
Really?
And yeah, he's red, he's orange, and he's got orange hair. I'm like, well, that sounds a bit freaky.
That's interesting. Oh my gosh.
Let me see if there are any other good bits.
Eric says, I like biblically themed comics as well. Anything supernatural, really.
Well, this one is it's a deeply supernatural. So this one, it's the second half of the book is the story of Jonah, which is really a continuation of the story of the flood. But again, eagle-eyed viewers, Jonah had this big tree that grew instantly. So I modeled that on a giant marijuana bush. So if you look at the Kikilion.
Are all these interiors you're showing part of the biblical book?
Yeah. Because biblical, I did the artwork on. Dominic Rancho did the artwork on Imperium. Now, Imperium is totally freaking different. Imperium is a very here, but here you want to see like weird. One second. Let me show you this bit as well, because this is one of my favorite scenes. Listen, I'm always happy to talk about my work because I'm so into it.
Yeah.
So Jonah has this vision that he has his mission that he has to go and warn the people of the nation of Nineveh that they should repent sinners, right? And he doesn't want to do that because with his prophecy, he sees that they will, if they survive, they're going to come and they're going to destroy Israel. So he can't not do it because God tells him to do it, and he can't do it because it's going to destroy everyone. So he tries to kill himself. So I really love this scene where he's like put his knife to his neck, he's trying to force himself to slice his throat, and he can't do it. But then he has like this. Then he has this like weird chapter. He's in the he's this is basically when he's in the belly of the beast of the fish, which is essentially in another realm of existence. But like he gets this really trippy thing where he like sees like this weird goop on his hand. He looks at this fish eggs with him inside it. It's like has this really weird revelatory moment. When life, death, and reality combine.
Eric is asking, I don't know if you answered this yet. Is your comic black and white or will it be colored?
No, black and white. If it does really, really well, if you hit like 40,000 or more, I'm thinking of, and I don't want to fully color it, right? Because it's the wrong book for that. I wouldn't mind adding like a tone to it but I do like that monotone. But both these books are black and white that I have right now. My next book, and the one I'm working on right now, is called Crown of the Empire, and that's in color. But again, these two books, they very much exist in the black and white realm. They're supposed to be black and white. So if I do anything with this one, it will be just like one tone. Although, I wouldn't mind doing the colors in the covers in color, because the covers were quite nice. It's one of the covers. If
you add color, do you have experience being a colorist as well?
Yeah, but I much rather bring somebody in here. I'll pull up some of my color stuff in a minute for you.
You mentioned you might do like an additional tone. I was just thinking, if you happen to decide to offer prints as part of the campaign, you might reach out to Chubb, Carl Stefan, I think.
Yeah.
Who did Merry Boys.
Oh, I know him very well. I love that book. I freaking love that book.
Yeah, he does ink washes, and I think it would look really good.
Yeah, that's exactly that. That's exactly the type of look that I would go for. What's it? Yeah. Let me show, I'll show you the cover for this. I just did the new cover, which I think is quite a bit better.
Welcome.
How you doing, mate?
Hello, hello. Welcome. Eric is asking, what is V's channel? I would love to support it.
Can I put it in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely.
1 second. I have to. Well, say now I have to go and find my channel, and then I got to find the chat. You know, all these things are here. 1 second. If I give it to you, you can put it in the chat.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the private chat. There you go. Here, do you want to throw up the cover I just put up?
Totally. Oh, there you go. All right.
Yeah, so this was more a pain to go. Although I have to show. I'll zoom in on this. This is my my neighbor's bushes because they just look perfect. I would zoom in. Like I really want to do some like Dave McKean-esque type of like collage with it, right? That's
cool. That almost looks like Liam Neeson.
Yeah. So yeah. So yeah. Although that middle panel here, this one happened completely by accident. This one, I again, everything's done digitally, and I clicked on the wrong setting for a layer, and it did this. I was like, well, that looks cool.
Yeah, it is. I was gonna say.
But here, 1 second. I'll try and find some of my color stuff.
I dropped a link in the chat to Svi's YouTube channel. Eric says, I grew up in a Pentecostal holiness church, and we spent the majority of our time in the New Testament and had very poor knowledge of the Old Testament. Judaism fascinates me because it is the foundation that Christianity is built on, and I love learning about it from people who actively practice it.
Well, okay, so I think we're in if you're Christian, I think we're in a very unique period of time. There's this idea that Isaac had 2 children. He had Esau and he had Jacob, and he wanted them to work together. And it's basically Christianity and Judaism, right? They wanted them to work together. Didn't work out, right? Didn't work out. Jacob ended up taking the blessing for Esau. But anyway, so it worked out that if one of them is doing well, the other one is down, and the other one's up, the other one's down. They're never going to be equal until the end of days. Until the end of days, when they both will be together. So there's this bit in the Bible, one of my favorite sections. Again, just in terms of a story, and I'm not trying to convince anybody to live their life a particular way. Genuinely not. But just in terms of the story, there's this bit in it where Jacob is returning to Israel, right? After being away for 40 years. He left, he was like this, spiritual guy, this pious. And now he's coming back. He's got like wives, he's got children, he's like a businessman. And he's come back to Israel, and he hears that Edom is coming to him with 400 people. So he's going to get decimated. He thinks he's going to get decimated. So he spends a lot of the time preparing. He breaks the camp into like two sections. So if one's wiped out, the other one can survive. So eventually you have this big showdown, right? Where Esau comes and he meets Jacob, and there's not a war. They think there's going to be a war, but there's not one. And because now the person that Esau sees is very similar to him, in that, he's much more, he's married, he's got responsibilities, he's living much more in this world, right? So he says, come, let's walk together, right? And so Jacob goes, I can't keep up with you right now. All this stuff slows me down, but we in the future, we will walk together. So I think cut through to now, right? To where we are now in human history. And peoples of faith are peoples of faith. So like peoples of faith are pretty much still under attack and under threat, and it doesn't really matter what faith that is. And there's much more that unifies us than divides us now that we've ever had in human history. So yeah, I think this is that future that they prophesied in the Bible, that we will walk together. And I think it's a pretty good thing. I was putting up this other thing for you. One second, I'll show my color stuff. Where is it?
But in terms of walking together, that doesn't equate to end of times, right?
It does, but end of times is a good thing.
Is it?
End of times means like, we're beating our our plows in our swords into plowshare, into plows. Like we're all just going to be peaceful and happy together. Is this the thing I was looking for? No.
I always viewed end of times meaning
apocalyptic.
Apocalyptic. Yeah.
At first, but I think in the end everything works out. I think that's the basic idea.
So in the end, does after an apocalypse, no matter how it's represented?
Well, I'm hoping we're not talking about apocalypse. That would be a bit of a bummer. All things
yeah, it would be. I was curious. Does the apocalypse end up? Does it result in anyone surviving?
Honestly, we should all pretty much do okay. I think it's going to be fine. So yeah, if anyone's worried about the end of days, although I am, and I've been saying this on my channel. Again, the current president, who I quite like, okay, whatever you are on the political spectrum, he's been my boy, okay. He's looked after Israel. He freed this guy called Rabushkin, who was in jail for a long time. So for me, I'm very grateful. He's been my boy. But I think he has, in terms of logic and reason, he doesn't have a hope, right? In terms of logic and reason, I think the other side cheated, and I think he doesn't have a hope. I still think come January, something crazy is going to happen, right? I think it's something crazy is going to happen, and it might not be as a done deal as we think it is. But the only reason that can happen is it's going to be an open miracle, right? So that's basically where I am with that. Oh, is this? Oh, fine. I finally found what I was looking for.
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, I know it sounds kind of crazy to even think such a thing, but you kind of touched on it before, but I view Trump in a way as being kind of a messiah, because he's like, I'm not ultra religious, but it seemed like after 8 years of Obama, things were pretty bad, that our chances of getting control of the presidency again were very slim. But in 2016,
that was a miracle. I believe that to be the definition of a miracle, right? By the way, I just shared the thing I'm working on now.
Oh, there it is. All right.
So this, I based the look of the main character on the. You listen to the Garage channel, Nerdrotic?
Yeah. I was going to say that it looks like him.
Yeah. So look, this was the initial drawing I did when I had the idea, right? I'm like, why don't I just try and put Gary in and see if it worked? And I thought it really worked, right?
I was going to say that's neurotic.
Exactly. So this is a very like steampunky thing, but here there's no drawing. So this is the colors were done by a woman called Rita Giovanni in Rome. I really like her work. She does there's great stuff. So yeah, so this is the one. I've managed to move away from like having so much photo reference. Although here, like the alien prostitutes on Mars, we had long discussions about the color of their lingerie. Yes, we went for many different things. But here, I'll show you some line art.
Must have been nail-biting conversations. Heated debates, even.
Yes, but yeah, I tell you, colors out. I love what.
I love this. This is cool.
Yeah, so this is all basically like set on Mars, but there's a Mars. It's a Victorian view of the future. Here, let me find some more color stuff.
Oh, interesting. Oh, wow! And you did all the pencils and inks.
Yeah,
you're a digital artist.
Right. And yeah.
Eric is asking if you've ever eaten birria. It's a Mexican dish with goat. It is glorious, he says.
I've never had that. Listen, if they ever find a kosher place that does it, I will. I like trying new things. Here, look. So this scene here is like a. If there's a 1960s movie called Zulu, which is reasonably racist, and I quite enjoy it, which is about the British being overrun by the natives in Africa, the Zulu natives. So this is very similar to that. They're charging. There's like hold. I wanted to like try and slip this out as long as possible before they fire. Then they fire and they like just plow through. But then I wanted to have the natives like do some damage as well. So I love this. He's got arrows in the face going.
Yeah. That's brutal.
Yeah, so there's a big battle scene. But here, one thing, this is
Didn't they also make a movie called Shaka Zulu on that same topic?
I probably the movie I'm thinking of was Michael Caine's first movie.
Oh, really?
So, yeah,
Okay.
This is him when he's they come out to this outpost in the middle of nowhere. Like they got Gary over here with with this there's a guy who's like this twit who ends up causing the revolution. But anyway, so he has this, he basically gets into like this super alien weed, which they dose him with. And he has this like massive bad trip, which goes very strangely. And then tumbles it into infinity. Well, yeah, all that stuff was fun to do. But anyway, so that's the book I'm doing next. I hope to launch that campaign around April. If I can, because again, everything is done with these campaigns. If I can launch in December, close it in early January, get it to the printers in January, fulfill by March, then by April I can launch this one, which I'm really into doing now, because like this, I'm always more into doing like whatever it is new I'm working on. But anyway, so that's Crown of the Empire. That's coming soon.
Crown of the Empire. So what was Gary's reaction to that?
I think I just kind of bemused, like, what? I don't know. Listen, unfortunately, ever since he moved from San Francisco, getting him live has been a nightmare because his schedule's been all over the place. Yeah, and actually, and also I can't super chat anymore. You can't super chat from Israel into America, which really is a pain in the ass.
Oh man!
Like a friend of mine to super chat for me is like, "Well, I haven't heard from you for weeks and for months. Like, where you been?" Anyway, so this is so I just threw up the next book if you want to. So this is the Imperium. This is with the artwork by Dominic Rose. This one is much less heavy and a lot more fun. This is a lot more fun. This one it says defending the 1960s from threats beyond reality. So basically, you have these are all my 1960s genre things that I really like. So essentially, James Bond, Doctor Who, M.A.P.I.L.Y, Monkey in the Spacesuit, and the Black Slab from 2001 all falls together in kind of unwillingly into a supergroup. They're not. We don't use their names obviously because I don't want to be sued into oblivion. So basically, we got, instead of James Bond, he's called the Assassin. And, so, and you can get now. It's like it's very generic. And Dominic redesigned M.A.P.I.L.Y more of this. I think that looks pretty good.
Yeah, I love M.A.P.I.L.Y.
M.A.P.I.L.'s the agent. The Exile is Doctor Who. The the Envoy is the Black Slab. The Astronaut is the Monkey. Because what's 1960s without a monkey in the spacesuit?
Oh,
have you ever seen the show? What was it the Prisoner?
Yeah.
Fine. So you'll recognize the opening, right? So we can start like this. This was the only page I did for the book because I saw the first page the Dominic did. I'm like, I could use a little bit more space, like breathing into this. But this is his first page. Look at that freaking awesome art he's done there.
Oh man,
isn't that great? He's such a fine, this guy. He's fan-freaking-tastic.
Wow.
By the way, a top tier of this is I'm going to be selling the original artwork. I got all the original artwork for this. And it's not because he works, normally with a pencil. I work digital. I can't sell any original. So yeah, the top tier is going to have you can buy a page of this. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous.
How many pages of original artwork do you think there will be in the campaign available?
It was at least 20.
Wow, nice.
I'm going to grade them. This is going to be a grade A page. So's this one, the next one. But by the way, here, so I got to get a feeling what this is like. All the characters hum their own theme tunes to themselves. So he's like driving along. He's going, ba, 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 ba. Yeah, like, and he's driving along, and he's like, meow, and he goes to the next page. He's da 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 da, and then another car comes crashing into him and going da 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 da, which is James Bond singing his own theme tune. with the Aston Martin from Goldfinger. But I love this little line. I've got your number, Sonny. I've got your number. And it's James Bond is off for a bit of a wild evening with three young ladies. So that's the point where I want to insert some more pages, right? I want to have a lot with it. I did this thing where this is like the pilot story, and I got like a like a bigger story. I have two bigger stories up with this that I would sell. So I would like preview these. I would like what's the word, presage these things coming. Well, so one thing that I really want to do, I want to have Patrick Troughton's Doctor Who dropping acid at an open air festival where the Rolling Stones are playing at Hyde Park. I figure that is something that we all need to see. Right? We all need to see that a lot more.
Going back a little bit, what was the inspiration again for Envoy?
The Envoy. The Envoy is the Black Slab from 2001. Hey, 1 second.
Oh, okay. All right.
Redacted files that they'll give you an idea who they are. So sentient, extra-dimensional, possible seeder of humanity, motivations oblique. And the exile, extraterrestrial, exile, shapeshifter, chrononaut.
Now, are portions of this blacked out for
no, this is just to make it look cool. You know, when he has the redacted documents. That's it. I just want to say socialite, gymnast, model, secret agent. You know, that once you get those like little bits, you're like, oh, okay, I know this character, right?
Gotcha.
And, the assassin, suave, MI6, public school educated, orphan, and psychopath.
John White says that's wonderful works, V. You don't talk about this nearly enough.
You know, I got to talk about it more. You're absolutely right. You are right. But I'm going to be talking about it more now. I've got the campaign going. You know, it's. But again, I'd like Dominic's work. I really like it. So let me find some other pages that I thought were good. Yeah, I like this one where James Bond wakes up and it's like, with three women in bed, one of them's dead. That's a bit of a wild night they had.
One of them's dead. Oh dear.
Yeah, my daughter keeps WhatsApp me. Let me just say tell her I'm on stream. Yep. There you go. Oh, you want a live stream? She knows me well. Yep, I am. So anyways, so a lot of this book you've got let me find it. The monkey kind of freaks out and what has to decides he has to get rid of this woman's corpse. Where was that page where he's dragging her around? 1 second.
It looks like you're showing it now, right?
What?
It looks like you're showing this. Oh, all right.
You're right. So he feels he needs to get rid of this corpse, so he's dragging her around, and he ends up putting her in the supply closet, right? But then he's going to take out all the toilet paper to make room for her. Now, this is a very important point, because at some point later in the book, things go a bit crazy. And there's a weird invading extra-dimensional alien that causes trouble because the monkey is holding toilet paper. He freaks out. He throws the toilet paper at the invading alien, right? Who then grabs it. But it's a bit that here's the idea that the whole book was based around. He grabs it, right, and the alien holds the toilet roll up to his eye, right, just as a James Bond character is walking in. Which we've already done, right? We've done this thing. Basically, so I got the gun barrel sequence in there. That's what the whole book was based around, right?
That's a funny segue. That was great.
And then, so then also in the book, you get a few things. You get this Appendix 1 making the comic. So you got the script. You got yeah, you got my notes on the script, and you got Dominic's initial sketches. And you see, like sometimes it took him a while to work out what's supposed to be happening. So you get that, and then we got we got a couple of backup strips. Where's the backup ones? Screwing through that. Next, you have the Pitch of Doom, right? The Pitch of Doom, which is the there's two. Stories I have. This was the initial pitch and the stories from it. I'm thinking of doing some kind of like like in England, you had this guy called Jimmy Savile, who was like this DJ, and he kids loved him, but apparently he turned out to be part of this massive child molesting ring, like this massive, which apparently everybody was into, right? So I thought it'd be fun to do that with the Thunderbirds, from Tracy Island. There. So you got Scott Tracy. What's the name of the father and Thunderbirds? But yeah, he's keeping torturing the battery boy in the closet.
Oh dear! Oh my gosh!
Right, so you get that with this, and then more Picture Doom, more Picture Doom. Okay, so then you also get these things called the Ice Warriors. The Ice Warriors were a monster on Doctor Who, which I did this strip with, which I can't sell because I don't own them. But I will put these strips in there. These are one-page strips that ran for quite some time. Again, this is the art was by Stefano Cardacelli, who was originally supposed to do the art on this, but after we raised the money, he just kind of vanished. So I put so this is his initial pages that he did for it. Which honestly, I love Stefano. I love working with him. I'm really happy that I managed to hook up with Dominic. It was whenever there's a tragedy, a crisis, it's you have to look at. Hopefully, it's going to work out well. So so I'm going to compare that one to the way Dominic interpreted it, and look, they're both legitimate styles. This is the look for the book now.
Yeah, indeed. Kami Mark says, "I love the whole Abrahamic trilogy of books."
Okay.
That shows you just how far behind in chat I am.
Yes, I'm like that too. I always do that.
Eric said,
I end up get half hour in and I don't notice, and then I got to catch up with the chat. I'm terrible.
Well, I often notice when chats are coming through. It's just that we're in the middle of some really engaging conversation, and I don't want to forget the questions I have to ask. So sometimes it kind of takes the back seat momentarily. The X-Men will take care of Apocalypse for us. I'm not worried.
Not if it was that awful movie. Oh my god, that was. Although I never saw the next one, which I heard was really awful.
You mean the Dark Phoenix saga done for the?
Yeah. I heard that was terrible.
Yeah.
The thing with Dark Phoenix is that should be a big budget TV show. If you want to do an X-Men TV show. And have that even in the second season, right? Have the second or third season, but make that whole season, build up Jean Grey character. And look, let's face it, that girl from Game of Thrones couldn't cut it as Jean Grey. She didn't have the chops for it. I tell you, look, she was lucky she got herself in a good position, but she just wasn't up to it, right?
Right.
So yeah, but I think it's kind of like what I think that's the plan with Zack Snyder's DC verse. I think they're going to do the Justice League, but from what I'm understanding, the Justice League is going to be like a 4 to 6 hour miniseries, and I think there's going to be the sequels are going to be TV 5 to 10 hour TV shows like that, on that budget, which I'm really up for. I think that kind of expand, but that would really work for X-Men. Although, what can you do? It's got Disney has it, and I think it's probably going to be wokified, right?
Yeah.
By the way, what the hell? They're going to replace Magneto with Gus Fring. I love the actor. I love him in Mandalorian, but Magneto's Jewish, baby. He's a Holocaust survivor.
Yeah.
Like what's up with that?
I didn't hear that they were going to replace Magneto. Damn.
Yeah, they want. I can't remember the guy's name. I called him Gus Fring. That's all I ever called him, Gus Fring.
This is going to be the third Magneto. I enjoyed the original X-Men movies.
Yeah, look, they were from the HB4 superhero movies, right? Look, the Asian superhero movies are over as well. That's gone. I mean, cinema movie chains are not going to be able to open up enough to be able to justify these budgets for these massive movies that they can't fail, but sort of have. That's why I think the quality has just been in the toilet, because it doesn't matter what you put out, people are still going to pay. They're still going to make $1 billion. Look at Captain Marvel.
Oh, that was a travesty. It was big old mess.
Right, but it doesn't. But it made back the money, right? It made the money for them. They were all like happy with it.
Well, due to clever positioning, they sandwiched it between two must-see movies.
Right. And listen, I totally believe they bought out blocks of seats, across cinemas in America, so it made it seem like it had a big weekend. So that I think they probably made that back the second weekend. Let's say they put 10 million into that, right? I reckon they probably made that 10 million back the next week by having a second weekend, because they had if it vanished without trace, forget it. So the big problem the movies have right now is people aren't rushing to see it before they know before the reviews come out. And so if you Tenet had came out, I really wanted to see it. The cinemas here in Israel are closed, so but it came out. The reviews weren't great, and it had bad word of mouth. It made 300 million instead of $1 billion. So they're all like, ah. By the way, my theory though on why they're releasing Wonder Woman on the December 25th, I think that's a major Orange Man bad movie, right? I think it's going to be super Orange Man bad, right?
That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing.
And so I think they believe that by next year that's going to be totally out of date. Hopefully it won't. I'm hoping it won't. Okay, but I'm hoping for a miracle. Yeah. But I think they firmly believe it's going to be out of date, which is why they're going to drop it on the 25th of December, which is basically their last opportunity to wring any money out of this thing.
Yeah.
I was totally signed up to HBO Max for that.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to any streaming services at this time. I don't know.
Netflix?
I used to be subscribed to Netflix, but then due to real life issues, well, in short, I got divorced.
Divorce is never fun, mate. It's never fun. I take you had to move and
life. And then it was also one of those things where I was having trouble finding content that I was even interested in.
Yeah.
I found myself rewatching the same movies from years ago because a lot of today's content is garbage. And that's also,
and if they ever make anything good, they screw it up. Like in the second set, was it Umbrella Academy, which was pretty good. The worst part of that was Ellen Page. And then in the second season, it was all about Ellen Page. And every time, not all about, whenever she came on screen, it died. It died completely. And she had this this lesbian 1950s, 60s storyline, which just, shut up, who cares?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's crazy.
No, I'm sorry. I had to turn my phone off. I have no idea who that is.
It's probably a telemarketer.
No, I think that's my daughter, but I think it's my other daughter. Probably wants me something or other. Never mind.
Well, if you need to take it.
Yeah.
We'll hang.
That's fine. It's fine. Listen, here's the thing that most people don't realize. Just about everything your kid says until they're 9, you can forget. It's like, yeah, whatever. Horses are white sometimes. Whatever. Your kid doesn't really say anything that is that important. Yeah. Yeah, and then okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So rather than streaming services, I'm a big proponent of physical media. So I still collect.
Oh yeah. I agree.
And I see this trend in streaming services where it seems like they're pulling pulling a page from like the telecom industry where they got rid of payphones to force everyone to go to cell phones.
Right.
And with the streaming industry, they are, they're trying to force everyone to watch their crappy content and lock you in online with the regular subscription service, so you're always paying regardless of how bad the content is, just like cable and satellite TV. And
exactly. I mean, honestly, I think HBO Max is probably a streaming service too much for most people. I think it's probably the one that won't go. Disney Plus has nothing worth ordering. It has The Mandalorian. That's it.
Right.
There's nothing on worth seeing on it at all. It's not worth the money. Whatever.
I was gonna say oh crap, what is it called again? What is the one where they turn superheroes on their head and make them like?
Oh, what's it called again? The Boys.
Yeah, is that on Amazon Prime?
Yeah, that's on Amazon Prime. The first series was really good. The second series went woke. Second series started to go woke, and that's what goes with it.
Oh yeah. That's
so the third series I'm not so into, but whatever. Listen, Amazon Prime I have just because for Amazon.
Yeah, and it sounds like The Boys is going to be dying soon.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
And I'm concerned about The Mandalorian starting to go woke as well.
I'm amazed at listen, the whole first season I was verklempt. I was like sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for it to go woke, and it didn't. So I was like, I was kind of amazed.
Cool. And I heard that on episode 1, season 2, episode 1, that they kind of rehashed a previous storyline from the first season. Did you find that to be the case?
Wait, what are we talking about? What
season 2, episode 1 of Mandalorian?
The Mandalorian, in of itself is kind of like it has like its tropes. So it has it's got all the Western tropes. There's not that much they can really do with it. So I'm like, did it rehash it? I guess so, a little bit. Like he's a a gunslinging bounty hunter, and he stayed it. Now he's got a baby with him. Yeah,
and so with streaming services, I think there's actually a movement to start from the studios to start limiting over time the number of physical media on the market.
Yes, there absolutely is. I mean, look, the Orville was never released on physical media, was it?
Oh man, shit.
No, absolutely. I download everything onto hard drive, so I keep everything.
Yeah,
the Orville never released on the physical media, which is bizarre.
What's interesting and what cracks me up about the Orville is that the fandoms think that the Orville is more Star Trek than today's.
Oh, it is.
It cracks me up, and it must piss off Hollywood to no end.
I don't know. Do they care about anything? I don't think there's any consequence to any of their stupidity whatsoever.
Yeah,
so, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know.
And the other thing about streaming services is like Disney themselves, they're either rewriting history or they're trying to kind of do soft core censoring. So
you keep getting all this stupidity where they add warnings into things. They did for Spider-Man. They give it a what's that warning? What's that? Have the Spider-Man
using friends.
Yeah,
being culturally insensitive or something for their portrayals of the Japanese, and movies like I think they targeted Gone with the Wind, Song of the South. They targeted.
Listen, you just got to I mean, just got to accept things have changed over the time. You know, it's like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. You just accept it, and you know.
I don't know. It's just this stupidity that, like, yeah, I tried to explain to one of them once. Imagine in the future, like 20 years in the future, right? The color purple becomes offensive, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Anybody who wears the color purple in the past is now a racist. Like, what do you like? And they're like, what? And like, yeah, these rules are changing. You know, I don't think all these people you're calling racist are really that racist.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and then the movie Splash, where Daryl Hannah's rear end is poorly CGI'd to look like there's more hair. The hair is longer.
Really?
Past her butt. Yeah.
Why?
I can't explain it. They're stupid.
It is freaking insane, isn't it? Again, we live in this weird clown world, I guess. That's where we are.
Seriously, clown world. Oh man. I mean, jeez. It's a good thing that we have awesome books like yours to look forward to.
Well, you know, Comicsgate is where it's at. It's oh yeah. So I was telling you how I came to this thing. So sorry, I got three kids that were WhatsApping now. Fine. So Doctor Who was terrible. They brought this woman doctor, which I was on board for. I was like, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. Let's give that a try. And it was absolutely terrible. But if you went on like Facebook or so and talked about it, you were then called a racist. Like, it's the worst thing ever. You go, what? Okay. So that's how I found Nerdrotic. It was one of the few people talking about it, which is how I found the Fandom Menace, right?
Yeah.
So then from that I found was it one day he was talking about your boy Zach's case with Mark Waid. And I hadn't heard about any of this, right? So that's how I found out about that. And from there, I went to Ethan Van Sciver's channel, and I saw this incredible power that this system that he built up, which is why I started my channel. It's 100% why I started my channel, and I started work on a book to sell when I had it ready. So that basically this is my first phase of that. But like what I really want to be doing is if I can do 4 campaigns a year, that'll be freaking awesome. 4 books a year.
Yeah.
So
4 books a year.
This one coming up, I got Crown of the Empire. The next one after that, I'm really into doing. I want to do a Superman book, and obviously we'll change it. So he's Homeland, whatever. It's so easy to change these things to make it your own, right?
Mm-hmm.
So but what I want to do with it is have first I want to like reference like the majesty of Superman, which I think they really nailed in those like Richard Donner movies, those original 1960s. Like,
I love those.
Yeah, I mean that that music. Guess what? So anyway, so the basically starts off. His Fortress of Solitude is going to be like this massive crystalline metal structure in the lower atmosphere. So he starts off is a close up of him like petting his dog, because like dog ownership is pure Americana, right? And that's what Superman is, pure Americana. Starts close up him like petting his super dog. You pull back, and you kind of get in your head. You hear that soundtrack, and you pull back. You see this massive structure. And so that universe's Lois Lane is interviewing Superman that day, right? So he brings her up, but then we're going to get Mr. Meplisnik, Mr. Meplisnik, or one version of him. He's going to turn up, boom, hit Superman with this reality ray, and then the next page it'll go into like a 1930s Superman, that kind of style, right?
Oh my god!
And so you go through all the different eras of Superman. He's got to like fight his way out of each one.
Oh wow!
The next one, so it's basically a massive appreciation of this character over the last nearly 90 years or so.
Huh. That sounds
like at the end we'll get like an SJW Superman. He breaks through to nearly our reality, and then he's a black woman. He's like, what the hell? What happened to me? Before he ends up back in our reality, and then I'll do a backup strip, which will be Lois Lane's interview with that Superman. So yeah, that's the third campaign I want to do.
Oh wow! So being a rabbi, how time consuming is it? I mean, is it like a 40-hour work week?
Oh no, I don't work as a rabbi at all. No. It's just and also I'm probably defrocked, right? It's in a accreditation I have. It's like being a doctor. But like when I came to America, one of the things you had to sign when you get your rabbinical ordination is that you don't own a TV. First thing I did was buy a bloody TV when I landed in the States, right? First thing, I'm like, okay.
Damn. So you lost your quote unquote.
Well, they don't know about that. I haven't officially lost it, right? But you know, so yeah, no, I'm not working as a rabbi. The last time I worked as a rabbi was when I lived in Miami, and I was on the Jewish divorce court, which was one of my favorite jobs I've ever had, right? Because we would be doing, we would do all the divorces for all of South America. So we would do anything between 4 and 9 divorces a week, and like the Jewish divorce is separate, is a thing that's mandated by the secular divorce, and you can't remarry in any denomination of Judaism without this Jewish divorce. It's called a get. So yeah, so that was a fun little job I had. And a weird thing, whenever it was a really gorgeous woman, like a really, really beautiful woman, and a dumpy guy, the woman would always be crying and he would always be smiling. I'm like, that's a weird life lesson.
Okay.
I guess high maintenance, but more than once that happened. It was bizarre.
Oh wow. Yeah, enlighten me on Jewish divorce. Is it viewed as like, is divorce generally viewed as a bad thing where the rules in place for the belief are intended to make it hard for you to divorce?
No. I mean, listen, it depends. It depends. There is an element of that. Let's say if somebody is a Levite, a priest, if they get divorced from someone, they can't remarry them, right? And that's that. So those divorces you write slower. It's basically this document that you write, but no, listen, people, you would know. You get married, you grow, you go in different directions, and you need to get divorced. It's part of life, you know. It's sad, but you know, it's something that you have to make accommodation for.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we're covering all kinds of topics.
I told you. I'll talk to you about anything. I'll talk. I have an opinion on pretty much everything.
Well, that's a good thing to have. A reminder, everybody, get in on this early pre-launch sign up. When you have all your campaigns, since you know you've been making your own books and self-fulfilling, have all your campaigns been on Indiegogo?
No, I did one on Kickstarter with another company that ran it for me. That was actually biblical, but this one was on Indiegogo. Was there another one? I can't remember. One was on Kickstarter. Yeah, biblical was on Kickstarter. I think this was on Indiegogo. I can't remember if I did a third one.
Do you have any views one way or the other on Kickstarter versus Indiegogo?
Oh, listen, I am hardcore Comicsgate, baby. I love Comicsgate. I think Comicsgate is the greatest thing ever. Listen, I'm also a bit too white and male and believe in God too much, you know, to break into the mainstream industry, right? And that was the thing. The time I started trying to break in was like 2015, which is like when I was like verboten. And like I didn't realize till like 2017, 2018, like, oh, this is never going to happen with these people. They're not going to do it.
How dare you? How dare you be white and male?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like the weirdest thing. People are very, very strange. What can I tell you?
On your campaign, you've got, as you highlighted earlier in the stream, 4 gorgeous art cards. I love this idea. And you get one for free with any purchase just for signing up to the mailing list.
That's absolutely correct, yes.
The art is done by Imperium artist Dominic. Is Racco?
Racho. R-A-C-H-O. Freaking awesome artist. Love his work.
So the Imperium is one of the other books, right?
The Imperium is the, if you scroll down, it's right there. Well, up a touch. Up. There you go.
Yeah, this one.
That's the Imperium, and the other one's biblical.
Right. Okay. I was just cracking up at your avatar.
Right. Yeah. Listen, branding, baby. Put that branding on everything.
So, what is that called? A yarmulke?
Yes. It's with the yarmulke and like the.
Are those braids?
No, they're called payot. Okay, so you have this thing. Yeah, you're not supposed to cut your hair from beneath this part of your head, right? You know, and so a lot of people just grow it out really, really long, and that's what they are. That's what the Hasidic people do.
So it's kind of like letting your sideburns grow long.
More than that. You end up looking like Jar Jar Binks if they have like super long ones.
Oh, okay. All right.
And they like curl them, and they go really long. These things. I don't do that. It's not for me. It's not my bag, man.
What are the dimensions of these art cards?
I don't know. I haven't worked out the printing of them yet. I just know we're going to do. I have the artwork. I got the design. I reckon they're going to be 3x5, something like that.
Oh wait, what dimensions did you say?
I reckon 3x5, like whatever the printer. I'm probably going to doing Mixim. Whatever they have as standard is what I'll use.
Okay, so roughly the size of a trading card. Wait, no,
bigger than that. Bigger than that. It'll be like the size of a postcard.
All right. Postcard size. That's pretty cool.
I am going to do a tier where we have we can get a sketch card done by the artist. And by the way, if you want a sketch card done by the artist, just look him up on Facebook. You can commission him. He's really good. He does these like really cool 3D trading cards of different superheroes, and he puts these 3D elements into them. Really, really, really phenomenal.
You mean 3D to the extent where you could use those paper plastic 3D glasses?
No. 3D, like he'll have like the Green Goblin throwing one of the the exploding pumpkin things, and make the pumpkin thing be like a little model built into the card.
Oh wow!
He'll build lighting into the card. He does really cool stuff. This guy.
Oh, neat! That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, and his work's good. He's quick. Honestly, he should be a big star. I mean, this guy's work's fantastic.
Right on. And these art cards, is it going to have some writing on the back, or maybe just blurb explaining what the inspiration behind it is?
Yes, that's exactly right. Then back will be in probably that sort of pinkish color that I did the writing in, with the white on that pink. So the reason I chose that font, by the way, that was a font predominantly used by top shelf magazines, basically dirty magazines in England in the 1970s. It's got that kind of vibe to it. So that's why I also laid them on brown paper to make it give that somewhat grubby feel to them, right? So
gotcha.
That's the plan.
Nice. And then we went over Imperium and Biblical. They're already completed, so all the hard work is already done. Mind-bending graphic novels. The Imperium boasts 48 plus story pages, and Biblical a whopping 100 plus story pages. 180 plus story pages. Both packed with full scripts, commentary, design sketches, and much more. I love the addition of all the extra stuff too. That's cool.
I love that stuff. I often find that stuff more, and so you actually get the journey of making these comics, as I made them. You know, so like, yeah, no, I love all that stuff in the comics.
And the Imperium defending the 1960s from the threats beyond reality. Oh man, this is a neat looking. In the far lower left corner.
Yeah. I got that. That was an exclusive cover I did with. I think Bleeding Cool ran an article on it when I first did that. That's how long ago this was, right? That I was still would be somehow associated with Bleeding Cool, who have now become like the propaganda in chief. Do you have that cover?
Yeah, that was more closer to when Bleeding Cool was kind of relevant.
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree with you. Hang on.
So is that particular cover going to be somehow incorporated into this campaign?
I guess so. I mean, like honestly, I really didn't even think about it. And I'll pull it up for you so you can see it closer.
Oh, cool! Because I like it a lot. I think it's really nice.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me.
Again, I love that toilet paper segue into.
Yes.
James.
Yeah, I put it. So yeah, listen, I just talked what the artwork he did for the design sketch and played around with it a little bit with graphic design to make something interesting.
Yeah, I love the color imagery. That's like something that was done in print long ago.
Right. Well, that was the kind of vibe I was going for.
Yeah.
So the other good thing is me and Dominic have a roughly a pretty similar libidos. You know, like we both find the same type of people attractive. So that also helps, right? Like, I can't imagine if I'm working with an artist and he finds like something that I don't find attractive, super attractive, like he's really into super skinny, non-feminine looking women. You know, that's like no.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that a lot.
I think the boob window was his idea.
Yeah, boob windows are a good thing.
Boob windows are a good thing. We're fans.
Yep. And then biblical Bible stories for atheists, creationists, rationalists, and rogues.
Yeah, and I'm most of those things.
That's such a cool idea. It's like there are a few out there, like illustrated versions of the Bible, to try and make stories more accessible to children.
Right. Well, firstly, they're young, and secondly, they're aimed at a young crowd. And secondly, they're always preaching at you, and I hate that. Right? Like there's no freaking need. Just tell the story. If the story moves you, the story moves you. Like, let me tell you something. God doesn't need your help, right?
Ain't it the truth? Ain't it the truth?
Ain't it the truth?
So, does biblical cover was it like picking out specific?
So biblical came from this. There's the holiest day of the year is Yom Kippur, which is called the Day of Atonement, and you don't eat on that day it's a 25-hour fast, right? And you spend most of the day in synagogue, and I actually can't quite like it. Most people hate it. I quite like it. Yeah, again, if you're making the most holy day of the year, if we're Jews, let's make it as miserable as possible. So no eating, spend the day in synagogue. So as part of that, in the afternoon service towards the end of the day, because in Jewish holidays we start at night and we end at night, right? If the whole Jewish holiday starts when sunfall happens, when the sun goes down, and ends when the sun goes down. So at the afternoon service, about like 5 o'clock, right? You read the book of Jonah. Most people sleep through it. Most people are like, I haven't eaten all day. What do you want? And they sleep through it. Like, it's a good time for a nap. But one year, I kind of woke up a little bit, and I looked at it and went, why are we reading this? What the hell? What's going on? And so I did a lot of research. It's a really bizarre, it's a really interesting story about the nature of love and mercy, right? But the interesting thing is, it's a second half of the story. The first half of the story starts on in Noah's Ark, and the Hebrew name for Jonah is the same name as the dove. So the dove is a reflection, is a prequel to Jonah. It's basically they're the same soul. They're supposed to be the same person. So it starts with the dove, and so I have a chapter where you have like it basically focuses on the raven, with one of my favorite characters in the Bible. Like, so the raven has this really bizarre story where he gets into this like pitched battle with Noah, and Noah is the Noah and the raven are kind of like Noah and the dove are one and the same. So it starts. So we start off over there. Actually, no. So then we actually start off about 200-300 years later, post flood, when you have the story of King Nimrod, because I wanted to show the how world shattering the flood was. So the flood has echoes of 9/11 in it, and that's the whole Tower of Babel story. So I started with that story first, basically because it's a lot more violence and action, but it ties into it. So then from then we go back to the story of the flood, and then we go forward a few hundred years to the story of Jonah, and it all ties together into one hopefully seamless narrative. That's the basic plan.
Wow.
Oh, that's not the plan. I did it. That's what it is.
That's cool. So, do you anticipate doing like a sequel book to biblical?
Maybe. I mean, listen. Right now, I would do a sequel to Crown of the Empire because honestly, it's what people respond to, right? It's what people respond to, and what I feel like doing, right? That they're the two things. If look, people want to buy things, I will sell you. I will make them so you can buy them. That's my bottom line. But I want to do a more superhero-y book, which is why I want to do this.
Oh yeah.
I might do like a 90s like action book as well. I'm kind of into that. Although I do have this idea of doing a comedy book as well, but I just don't know if anybody will go for it. Basically, I want to do this idea I have is called Henchman, right? So imagine this: you got who is it? The guy who plays Thor, Chris Hemsworth, and the guy who plays Deadpool. What's the guy? Ryan Reynolds, right? Yeah, okay. Two insanely attractive stoners. They're going to be two stoners. They're at a gas station, like in the Florida Keys, and this van pulls up with these incredibly beautiful people in it, all wearing the same kind of outfit, right? And they get talking to them, and they end up following back when they're going. Turns out the beautiful people that they're following are in a James Bond movie. You have the James Bond villain has this like small group of people he's going to repopulate the world with. Is like his minions. So that I always wonder, what's the story of all those people? So it's about them, right? So what's the story? They follow them back, and then the James Bond villains in the background trying to destroy the world. They're busy dealing weed to the people there, and there's you see the James Bond secret agent saving the day in the background. But that's basically it's about the henchmen who walk around with the machine guns in the uniforms, and also the women who sit around the pool for no apparent reason, right? So whenever I watch a James Bond movie, I go like, what is that person's day like? I always want to know.
That's an interesting perspective to take a book in.
So I might do that. I don't know. That's an idea I have rattling around.
Right on. So it looks like after this campaign, your next one is probably going to be the Superman through the different decades.
This one is Crown of the Empire because I'm like 50 pages into that.
Oh, all right.
So that's it. Again, like what I would really love. Okay, here's my absolute great goal. We do well enough with this campaign that I can hire Dominic, right, to do the backgrounds for the next 30 pages or so of Crown of the Empire because it's all in the jungle. And drawing jungle is a pain in the ass, right? It's a pain in the ass. Yeah, if I can make enough money to hire him to do that, I am going to be very, very happy.
Nice. Do you, since you're not like a practicing rabbi right now. Outside of these crowdfunded books, do you still work a traditional like 9 to 5?
Oh, yeah, I do video production, web design, graphic design.
Oh, right. Okay. Are you approaching the point at which you might be able to, or do you even have an interest in one day doing crowdfunded graphic novels and books full time?
Yes, that's 100% my. That's absolutely what I want to do. Again, if I could do 4 campaigns a year, right, and I could make, I reckon and I can make enough money on those that I can live off, which should be doable, right? Just following the normal path of other comic skaters, right? It should be doable. Like, Clint Sweetcast, he made what, 80-90 grand the last book,
Man,
which he's probably taking home from that about 30-40 grand, right? So 4 times a year, that's a pretty decent salary he's making.
Yeah.
So I do think I could do 4 books a year. I'll draw one and I'll bring artists in for the other ones, but that's the basic plan.
Cool. So for this this campaign, do you make use of the early sign up? Well, I mean, you're doing it here.
Yeah, baby. That's 100%. Yeah, that's 100% making use of it. And I really would like people to sign up. Thank you. If you want to sign up, that'll be great. You want to make a rabbi happy? Sign up. Okay. You don't often get the chance to make a rabbi happy. So yeah. I give that to you, your listeners, the opportunity to gladden a rabbi's heart.
I was going to say, who doesn't want to make a rabbi happy?
Well, listen, I can understand you not want to make an average rabbi happy, but we're talking about me, baby, okay? We're talking about me. I'm a fun guy to make happy. You want me to be happy. You don't want a miserable Svi. You want a happy Svi.
When you do the pre-launches, do you usually go like the full 6 months that they allow, or?
Oh no, I want to launch this in about 2-3 weeks.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah. I'm raring to go. I want to launch this in December, close it in January, fulfill in February, March. Like, since I can send the files to the printers in January, we're doing fulfillment by February. March people get it, and then by April, so I've then built in a couple of months wiggle room that by April I can launch my next campaign, and at the same time I'm just doing more pages to be closer to finishing it.
And have you noticed, since you've done several campaigns, are you seeing a lot of familiar people in the fan base backing each of your different books?
Oh no, okay. This campaign is very different from the other ones I've done. But again, this is the first Comicsgate campaign. I haven't done a crowdfunding campaign for about 3 or 4 years. The other ones, they did okay. We made the money we needed. We made the stretch goals, but they weren't. They just covered the costs. Like, it's not. I ended up losing slightly from them, not massively.
Right.
This one I hope to make money. That'll be it'd be great. I mean, listen, if I can make 40 grand on this, I'm ecstatic. 40 grand, and I'm coloring them, but coloring biblical, which would be a pain in the ass. Maybe I should make that stretch goal higher.
I mean, it's definitely a cool looking project, and definitely looking forward to it getting funded and succeeding. Do you already have in mind what you want to mark as your goal, and whether it's going to be fixed or flexible?
No, I'm going to do the goal be small, because they're already done. I don't need anything to produce these. I can do print on demand, and so the goal will be like 500.
Oh, nice.
I want to blow through that goal pretty darn quickly. Yeah, if I can blow. Oh, but here, this is something good. I do have to run in a minute, but right. The one perk I'm excited about. So both books normally will be $45 for both books. In the campaign, they're going to be $40. One will be 25, one will be 20. But if you buy both of them, it'll be 40. However, And you also get the 4 art cards with that. That level, you get 4 art cards, both books, $40. However, for the first 30 people, get that for $30.
Oh man!
So I want that to be like a bit of a doorbuster.
So there's probably going to be like you're going to send out an email to the distribution list with a secret perk tier.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, that's not secret perk. That's listen. My ultimate goal, if I can get on Ethan's channel to launch, that'll be fantastic. then I'm dancing, right? Yeah. Who knows? You can't. You don't base your happiness on things beyond your control.
Right. Well, something to bear in mind is his channel, obviously and understandably, can be challenging, if not sometimes near impossible to get on. But if you simply, you could help get the word out about your project and campaign by occasionally maybe throwing $5 into doing a super chat.
100%. Well, the problem is though, I've got to find some people to do that for me and then pay them because I can't super chat from Israel.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Real pain in the ass. I would do that constantly. Yeah, it's a real cheap way of advertising. That's saying I absolutely do want to do. I do. I have to go. I got the stream starting in an hour.
Oh yeah. All right.
It'll take me like about 45 minutes right there. I've had a pee building up for like the last hour and a half.
Oh my gosh. Well, if you would take a moment real quick to share with the world how you can be found on social media.
Okay, fine. Go to Biblical Comics at BIBLICALCOMIX on Twitter. Go to biblicalcomics.com. On YouTube, search the Rabbi from Another Planet. The link's in the description. Go back my campaign. I cannot beg you more than I am now. You want to make a Rabbi insanely happy. Go not back the campaign. Just join the mailing list. Freaking hell! I'm not even asking any money at you. Just join the freaking mailing list. That will be absolutely awesome. And thank you, absolutely thank you very much.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, this has been a blast. Thank you for coming. Please check out WyzGyzEntertainment on Facebook and YouTube. You'll also find us on Twitter at WyzGyzTweets. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Mark the bell for notifications, and if you want all notifications so you don't miss, hopefully, a single stream or video. And thank you to everyone in the chat for joining us. Thank you to everyone who watches this on replay, and thanks to our very special guest, Svi.
Thank you for having me. I do enjoy being had. Let me tell you.
You've been had.
I've been had.
You've been had, sir. All right. Ending broadcast in 3, 2, 1.
Guest is the only person below White Holiday in the Comicsgate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sameti. The YouTube how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Awesome. You're we're still on, I think.
Yeah, so we're no longer live. We're just in the back green room.
You know it says we're still live.
Oh crap.